Ladies, let me tell you something. If you want a man to crave your presence like a drug, you don't chase him. Nah. You level up so hard that he can't stop thinking about you. You walk like you're worth $1 million, talk like you got gold in your throat, and move like God made you on his best day. You ain't begging, you ain't proving, you're just being. Being the woman who knows what she brings to the table and isn't afraid to eat alone until the right one pulls up a chair. And I need you to really hear this. The way you see yourself sets the entire tone for how the world sees you. You walk into a room with confidence, with your head held high, with purpose in your steps. People feel that. They sense it. It's like a frequency. And if you want a man to crave your presence, like it's something he can't live without, the first thing you got to do is upgrade your self-worth. And I'm not talking about doing it once and calling it a day. No, I'm talking about daily work. I mean, every single day you got to pour into yourself before you pour into anybody else. See, too many women out here making a man their entire world while neglecting their own value. You forget who you are trying to get him to remember you. That's backwards. That's not how this thing works. You want him to crave you, then you got to start craving your own growth. Crave your own peace. Crave your own reflection in the mirror. You have to wake up each morning and ask yourself, how am I showing up for me today? Not for him, not for your friends, not for your job, for you. Now let me break it down like this. You ever seen a woman walk into a room and everybody just turns their head? And she ain't even the loudest. She's not trying to be noticed. She just moves like she's already somebody. That's not by accident. That's not makeup. That's mindset. That's self-worth radiating off her like perfume. That kind of energy, a man don't just want it, he needs it. It gets in his head. It stays with him when you're not around. He starts thinking about you when you ain't texting, when you ain't calling, when you're busy building your life. That's the power of a woman who invests in herself. So how do you do it? You make a decision. You decide that you are worthy of the love you desire. You decide that your time is valuable. You decide that you're not going to lower your standards just to feel accepted for a moment. You decide that you're not going to let temporary loneliness convince you to settle for less than what you deserve. You set the bar high and you don't apologize for it. You say, if you want to be in my life, cool, but bring something with you besides charm. Bring consistency, bring peace, bring purpose. Match my energy or keep it moving. Because here's the truth. Men respect what they have to rise up to meet. If you don't value yourself, you become too easy to impress, too easy to manipulate, too easy to walk away from. But when you operate from a place of self-love, when you know you're not desperate for attention because you give yourself all the validation you need, that's when he starts realizing this woman is different. He starts wondering how he can rise to your level, how he can keep your attention, how he can earn your time. And I'm not saying be cold. I'm not saying play games, but I am saying you teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you tolerate disrespect from yourself, negative self-talk, poor habits, unhealthy boundaries, guess what? Others will follow suit. But if you hold yourself to a higher standard, if you keep your mind sharp, your spirit strong, your vibe high, you become magnetic. And it ain't about beauty, baby. It's about energy. A woman who knows her worth don't chase. She attracts. She attracts respect, admiration, loyalty, and yes, love, real love. The kind that doesn't want to let go. So stop waiting for a man to wake up and see you. Wake up and see yourself. See the woman you are becoming. Fall in love with her. Invest in her dreams. Speak life over her, dress like her, walk like her, protect her peace like it's sacred, and every single day recommit to her. That's how you make him crave your presence like a drug, because he'll feel how much you love yourself, and that energy is addictive. Let me be clear, this ain't about making him chase you just for sport. This is about becoming so whole, so complete, so in tune with who you are that being in your presence feels like a privilege, not an expectation. It's about shining so bright that he doesn't just want you, he respects what it takes to be with a woman like you. So when you're out there wondering how to make him think about you, how to make him miss you, how to make him feel like your presence is a high he can't quit, start by becoming that woman for you. Because if you treat yourself like a queen, like royalty, like someone who deserves the absolute best, he'll either rise up and match that energy or he'll get out the way. Either way, you win. A lot of people overlook in relationships. Peace is a premium. I'm talking about real, soul-settling, spirit-calming peace. Not comfort, not familiarity, peace. And if you want a man to crave your presence like a drug, you've got to become his peace, not his project. See, a lot of folks got it twisted. They think love means fixing somebody. They think being with someone means taking on the role of their therapist, their life coach, their mama, their rescue squad. Nah, baby, that ain't your job. Your job is not to rebuild a broken man, especially if he ain't trying to fix himself. Your job is not to become his emotional crutch or to carry his wounds while neglecting your own healing. That ain't peace, that's pressure. And pressure don't build relationships, it breaks them. A man doesn't crave the woman who constantly nags him, tries to change him, or reminds him of everything he's not. He craves the woman who helps him breathe in a world that keeps suffocating him. The one who makes him feel safe without saying a word. The one who listens without judgment, loves without control, and stands firm in her own energy without trying to manipulate his. That's peace. And when a man finds that in you, it becomes addictive. Because out there, in the real world, peace is hard to come by. Life already got enough stress, enough competition, enough noise. A man goes out every day with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Expectations, responsibilities, silent battles he never talks about. He's expected to be strong all the time, even when he's tired, even when he's broken. And when he comes home, when he steps into your space, he don't want more conflict. He don't want another battlefield. He wants relief. He wants to exhale. He wants to sit beside you and feel like everything is going to be okay just because you're there. Now listen, that don't mean you ain't allowed to express your needs. That don't mean you got to shrink or walk on eggshells. Peace ain't about silence. It's about balance. It's about knowing how to speak your truth without tearing him down. It's about holding him accountable without attacking his identity. It's about knowing when to step in and when to step back. And most importantly, it's about making sure you've created that same peace within yourself first. Because if you ain't got peace in your own spirit, you sure ain't going to be able to offer it to somebody else. You can't be somebody's peace if you're still at war with yourself. If you're holding on to past hurt, if you're carrying trust issues like baggage, if you haven't learned how to be happy without chaos, then you'll confuse intensity for love and drama for passion. And that right there, that'll drive a good man away real fast. Let me give you an example. Say you're in a relationship and every time he walks through the door, he's met with complaints, criticism, or questions. Why didn't you text me back? Where were you? Why are you acting distant? Now, maybe those are valid concerns, but timing and tone matter. Sometimes he just needs to sit down, decompress, and then talk. If you give him a moment of calm, you'll be surprised how quickly he'll open up. But if you come at him like an interrogation, he's gonna shut down. Not because he doesn't care, but because men aren't wired to receive love through tension. So how do you become his peace? Start by becoming your own. Create a life outside of him that fulfills you emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Have passions, routines, people who pour into you. That way, when you're with him, you're not coming from a place of emptiness or expectation. You're coming from abundance. You bring joy to the table, not just needs. And when you do that, when your presence starts to feel like a break from the world and not another obligation, that man gonna crave you like air, like water, like something he don't ever want to lose. Peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's knowing when to let a moment breathe. It's choosing grace over ego. It's being able to argue without disrespect, disagree without disconnecting, and love without possession. That's what makes a man feel safe, not just in your arms, but in your presence. And once he feels safe with you, he will open up to you in ways you never imagined. He'll share his dreams, his fears, his childhood wound, not because you dragged it out of him, but because he trusts you enough to let you in. And that is where the bond deepens. That's when he starts seeing you as more than a lover. He sees you as his peace, his partner, his safe place. So if you're wondering why he pulls away, why he doesn't communicate, why he don't seem excited anymore, ask yourself, have I been his peace or have I been another problem? And if the answer hurts, good. That means you've got the power to change it. Start with yourself. Build your inner peace like a temple and then invite him in. Not to fix him, not to rescue him, but to rest with you. Because let me tell you something. Beauty fades, charm gets old, chemistry changes, but peace, real peace, that stays. That's what he remembers when he's out there in the noise of life. That's what he misses when you're gone. That's what keeps him coming back again and again and again. Now let me hit you with some real game right here. And I hope you catch it because this one's powerful. One of the most underrated things a woman can do to make a man crave her presence like a drug is keep a little mystery. Not games, not mind tricks, mystery. That's the difference between being interesting for a moment and being unforgettable for a lifetime. See, here's the deal. When a man feels like he's figured you out in the first few weeks, it's like reading a book and skipping to the last chapter. He might stick around for a bit, but he ain't turning the pages with the same excitement. Why? Because there's no discovery, no curiosity, no chase. And I'm not talking about being hard to get. I'm talking about staying unpredictable, staying layered, staying in tune with yourself in such a way that even when he's close to you, he knows he don't fully know everything about you. That's the pull. That's the hook. That's what keeps his mind locked in on you even when you're not around. Let me say this plain. You don't need to put your whole life on display to be loved. You don't need to over-explain yourself, spill your past, prove your loyalty in the first few conversations. A man who's serious will earn those layers. He'll put in the time to see what's beneath the surface. And if he's not willing to do that, he wasn't worth the reveal anyway. You feel me? Mystery is power. It's walking into a room and letting your presence speak louder than your story. It's knowing that not everybody deserves access to the sacred parts of you. Your heart, your dreams, your scars, your soul. You don't give that away just because somebody shows interest. You give that when somebody shows effort. And when you carry yourself like that, men can feel it. They know you're not pressed. You're not waiting for validation. You're not out here trying to convince anybody you're worthy. You already know. Now let me tell you what kills mystery faster than anything: overexposure. When you let a man into every inch of your world too soon, you rob him of the experience of learning you. You see, men are hunters by nature. They want to discover. They want to chase. They want to feel like being with you is a journey, not a transaction. But if you're always available, always explaining, always doing the most to make him comfortable, He starts to take it for granted. It becomes routine, predictable. And listen, you can be loyal, beautiful, supportive, but if the energy is too easy, too open, too soon, that craving starts to fade. Not because you're not enough, but because you gave him everything before he earned the right to hold it. Think about it like this. You ever had a favorite show that kept you on the edge of your seat? Every episode gave you just enough to stay hooked, but never too much to give it all away? That's what mystery does. It keeps the energy alive. It keeps him thinking, what's she going to do next? What's she dreaming about that she hasn't told me yet? What's on her mind when she goes quiet? That right there, that not knowing, is what keeps him coming back. He becomes addicted to the experience of discovering you. But let me be clear. This ain't about being fake or holding secrets. Nah. It's about timing. It's about not being so quick to let someone fully unpack your identity. It's about letting the bond unfold naturally, letting conversations build, letting emotions deepen at a steady, healthy pace. See, when you control your access, you control your value. When you protect your story, you protect your spirit. And any man who truly wants to know you, I mean really know you, he will work for that. He'll ask questions. He'll show up. He'll be patient. Because the mystery ain't a wall, it's a door. And the right one will knock with respect. So you want to make him crave your presence? Stop trying to fill every silence. Stop texting paragraphs just because he didn't respond right away. Stop answering questions he ain't even asked yet. Let him miss you. Let him wonder what's going on in that beautiful mind of yours. Don't always say where you're going, what you're doing, or who you're with. Not to play games, but to protect your energy, to keep something for you. You have the right to remain a little unknown. That's not being difficult. That's being divine. See, we live in a world where everything is instant. People want answers fast, feelings fast, love fast. But the stuff that lasts, that grows slowly, quietly, deeply. Mystery gives a man the space to build interest, not just attraction. It gives him room to appreciate the uniqueness of you, the way you laugh, the way you speak, the way you think about life. All of that unfolds over time. And when it's done right, he don't just want to be around you, he starts needing to. He becomes drawn to your essence. He starts to crave your presence like it's his favorite escape. So don't rush to be understood. Don't rush to be chosen. Be okay with being a little unknown. Be okay with leaving some things unsaid. Trust that your presence speaks even when your lips don't. Trust that your energy lingers longer when it leaves something to the imagination. Because let me tell you something, a woman with mystery, a woman who moves in silence, who reveals herself in layers, who doesn't hand over the keys to her world too quickly, that woman becomes unforgettable. That woman becomes magnetic. And that woman, she gets craved. Let me tell you something that might shake your whole mindset. If you want a man to crave your presence like a drug, you can't make him the center of your universe. You got to have a purpose that's bigger than him, bigger than love, bigger than the relationship. You got to be out here chasing something that lights a fire in your soul. Something that ain't got nothing to do with him. Because let me tell you this right now. Purpose is powerful. Purpose is magnetic. And a woman on a mission, she's unforgettable. See, too many women make the mistake of building their life around a man. You meet somebody, you get excited, and before you know it, everything you do revolves around him. Your schedule, your mood, your goals, your energy. You start putting your dreams on hold, sacrificing your grind, watering yourself down just to be available. Baby, that's not love. That's loss. You're losing parts of yourself while trying to keep somebody else close. And that ain't sustainable, that ain't attractive, and I'll tell you what, that's not how you get a man to crave you. A man doesn't crave a woman who makes him her whole world. He craves a woman who has a world and is so full, so alive, so rich with purpose that he just wants to be a part of it. He sees her waking up with a vision. He sees her grinding, evolving, creating, and it inspires him. He looks at her like, damn, she got something bigger driving her. She ain't out here just trying to be cute and kept. She's out here trying to build something. That's what makes a man lock in. That's what keeps him checking on you, texting you, showing up for you. Because he respects what you're doing. He admires what you're about. And most importantly, he knows your life ain't revolving around him. Let me break it down like this. A woman who's focused on her purpose doesn't sit around waiting on a text. She doesn't lose sleep over what are we conversations. She's not obsessed with his potential or his next move because she's too busy working on her own. She knows what she wants, she knows who she's becoming, and she's not afraid to walk away from anything that pulls her off that path. Now, I ain't saying you got to be a CEO or start a nonprofit to have purpose. Purpose ain't always about money or status. It's about intention. It's about waking up every day and doing something that feeds your soul. Whether that's building a business, raising your children, writing a book, helping people, taking care of your body, or healing your heart. Purpose is personal. It's sacred. And when you commit to it, when you make it a priority, it starts showing in your energy. People feel it. A man feels it. And he starts looking at you different. Not just as a partner, but as a force. And here's the beauty of it. When you're walking in your purpose, you stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop trying to convince somebody to see your worth. Because you're already so full, so fulfilled that love becomes a bonus, not a lifeline. You love from a place of wholeness, not desperation. And that kind of love, that's what drives a man crazy. That's what keeps him coming back. Because he knows you don't need him, you choose him. And that's a different kind of power. Let's be real. Purpose gives you boundaries. It gives you standards. When you're working towards something meaningful, you don't entertain every distraction. You don't settle for inconsistent energy. You don't give time to people who don't match your direction. You start moving different. You start requiring more, not because you're arrogant, but because you respect your own time and energy too much to waste it. And a man who sees that, a man who witnesses you protecting your peace, your passion, your plans, he gonna step off. And that's exactly what you want. A woman with purpose doesn't have to scream to be seen. Her actions speak for her. Her consistency speaks for her. Her focus speaks for her. And the right man, he'll crave that. Not because you're always up under him, not because you're checking in 24/7, but because you're rare. You're moving in a way most people don't. You've got drive, you've got depth, you've got direction, and he knows that if he wants to keep up with you, he better match your motion. Let me tell you something else. When a man sees that you're serious about your purpose, it challenges him. It makes him want to step up, not just to be better for you, but to be better for himself. You become a mirror that shows him what's possible. You inspire growth. You raise the bar. You set the tone. And he either levels up or he leaves. But you keep going regardless, because your purpose don't pause for nobody. So if you've ever found yourself wondering why you feel unappreciated, overlooked, taken for granted, ask yourself this: what am I building? What am I living for outside of him? Because when you tap into that calling, that fire, that thing that makes you you, baby, your presence becomes unforgettable. He'll be thinking about you when he wakes up. He'll be wondering what you're doing when you're not around. He'll crave your energy, your ambition, your passion, not just your body, but your being. That's how you make him crave your presence like a drug. You stop making him the mission and you start moving like you are the mission.